In this video, I'll show you how to write unit test in Remix. First, make sure that you have selected a contract. For this example, we'll write a unit test for a contract that I wrote called counter, which increments the count when you call the function inc, and it decrements the count when you call the function dec. So to test this contract, first we'll need to activate a plugin. So I'll click on the plugin and search for test. And the plugin that we want to activate is called Solidity Unit Testing. Click on activate. And on the left, you'll see a new plugin to test the Solidity contract. We'll click on this plugin and then generate a new test file by clicking on generate. And notice that on the right, a new test contract has popped up. This is a generic test, and if we click on the button run, and then if I scroll down, you can see that it ran some tests that are inside this file. Let's write a test specifically for the counter contract. For this example, I'll write a test for increment. So back inside the counter test contract, we'll first deploy the contract inside the before all function. This is a function that will be called before any of the tests run. So we'll deploy our contract here. I'll first remove this code, and then we'll declare a state variable for the counter contract that we'll deploy by typing counter public counter, and then we will deploy the new counter contract inside this function before all. Counter is equal to new counter, and then we'll write our test inside here. So I'll rename this to check inc, and then I'll remove this code. We'll check that after calling the inc function that the count increments by 1. So back inside the test, I'll call the inc function counter.inc, and then we'll assert equal that counter.count is equal to 1. But before we write a test that is passing, I'll intentionally make this test fail. After calling the inc function, the count should increment by 1. When we deploy the contract, the count is 0. So when we increment by 1, it should be equal to 1. However, to make the test fail, I'll say it should be equal to 2. And then with the error message, count should be equal to 1. And that completes our test. I'll remove the rest of the boilerplate code. And then we'll run this test, check inc. Click on the plugin again, and then I'll unselect all the tests, and then just select the test for the counter contract, and then hit run. And you can see here that the test failed. With the error message, count should be equal to 1. Let's fix the test and rerun the test again. After calling the function inc, the count should be equal to 1, so I'll fix this to a 1, and then we'll run the test again. Scrolling down, and this time the test passed. This was a quick example of how to write unit test in Solidity using Remix. Thanks for watching, and for more, please subscribe.